Hey, how we doing? I'm Andy, this is Spiders, and today we're gonna follow up on, or we're gonna retry an old breeding project. So, you know, some people or anybody who's followed the channel for a while might remember that sort of early this year, late last year, I tried pairing my Dolichothele diamantinensis, the Brazilian blue dwarf beauty, is it? Something like that. But anyway, I paired her about 3 or 4 times with the male that I had at the time. Everything went cracking, went really well. And then the morning of the Barnsley show, the Northern show earlier this year, she moulted out. So that was a while ago. She'd been sort of basically getting prepped, getting fed up. And then I was contacted by Chris from Skaana Exotics, who it turned out had another mature male, or had a male that had recently matured. So he got in touch, asked me if I was up for a loan of him, and that's what this is about. We're going to try and pair her up again, or pair them up, and see what we can do, see if we can get a little bit more joy this time round. So I've already paired them twice. The first one was a little bit longer than the second, so I'm going to show you the first pairing now, and I'll catch you in a bit. I hope you enjoy it. Cheers. So here we have Sapphire, as Chris had named this one. But yeah, you'll see here, I just tested his temperament because he was a little bit narky when I unboxed him. And you'll see in just a second, as soon as he gets a bit of a footing in her enclosure, there you go, he starts vibrating. You'll see her now, she's hidden behind that plant. And now she's aware that he's there. He carries on with that vibrating, and she comes a bit closer. Now you see, there's a little bit of a stab there. So yeah, you can see he was just on that side. He stayed there for quite a while, and he was constantly sending her the signals, and you see her fangs here. But it's not that she's sort of shown any aggression, it's just more that she's sort of ready. She's presenting herself to him, and she's ready for him to come in. He's just taking his time about it, really. And now you see he does come down, and pretty quickly he gets those fangs hooked. And in all fairness, he goes in pretty quick, and you see straight away here, from the vantage point I had, I could see that he got an insertion here. See, he's just sort of pulling and pumping, and that's where the insertion took place. There's a bit of a slow motion of it here, and you can see his palps aren't tapping away at this point. And that's where the insertion's taken place, and in a second you'll see that palp release. And there again, he went in. I couldn't see for certain whether or not he did get an insertion here, but I've got a feeling he might, the way that he moved back quickly then. And once again, he took up that position on the side of the tent where he was above her, so you can see again she's offering herself to him. It's all very tippy tappy. This actually looks like it's been sped up, but it actually hasn't. You can see he's constantly sort of tapping and sending her the signals. It's just that he's got himself in a daft position really, where he's too high and he hasn't come down. If he sort of moved down to the bottom in the middle of the enclosure, as we're looking at it here, it'd make life a lot easier for him. But no, what does he do? He moves further back. I did notice that she sort of followed him here, and it did give him a better vantage point. Yeah, he's just slowly taking his time, making sure he's got the right position for himself. Now you see here, we've got them on either side. I was sort of hoping that she'd come up to the top, and that would have made everything a whole lot easier. But he's still sending those signals. She has come up to meet him a little bit. It's got that good vantage point that he was looking for. You'll see he goes straight in there. And I'm pretty sure that we've got an insertion with that right pedipalp going on. And then here again, I'm pretty sure it was at this point he got a double whammy, so to speak. He went in with the left one and then he goes straight in with the right. And you see there, that left pedipalp just releasing. And he goes in with the right one. And now he decides to come down and get himself in that better position, and then he's finished and he's off. So yeah, at this point he was just sat on the side of her enclosure, but I didn't want him going back in. So we put the lid on, and there you'll see him. He thought he was going for a bit of a tour of the kitchen, and those plans were foiled. See it, there we are, safely cupped. And we get him back into his little temporary enclosure that he's in for the duration of time that he's with us here. Now, interestingly enough, when I come down the following morning, he's been kept in my living room, and when I come down the following morning, I found him in the middle of loading his palps, again after he'd made another sperm web. So yeah, that's Sapphire. And I think that was a good job done. We just dropped his water bowl back in, and that was the first pairing. So yeah, I say first one went pretty well. There's that little strike at the beginning, but if I'm not mistaken, I think she's been like that every time she's paired. That little question of whether you're a friend or foe, I suppose, as he first enters the enclosure. But yeah, well, what I did do is about a week after that, I actually paired them again. Now this went a lot quicker than the first one. In that first pairing, I was able to see from my own vantage point that there were a couple of decent sort of insertions. With this one, it happened really quickly, and if I'm honest, don't know for certain whether there was an insertion, but I'll let you have a quick look at that now, and I'll see you in a minute. So this time around, you can see where she is on this side of the tank, so I thought I'd put him in sort of as far away as possible from her, was my thinking really. Just give him time to let her know that he's there without him going in too close and risking her striking. Now she just moved there as I was bringing this camera a little bit closer to get this angle, and it actually did me a favour because it brought her a bit further away from it. And you see he's just sat there on the side, but again, as soon as he gets, like the first pair, and as soon as he gets a bit of purchase on that tank and his foot's on that web, he knows, and you can see his pulp's already starting to go. And now his whole body starts shaking just as he gets more of a purchase and a better foothold in there. And again, here she comes. Now you see, there's a bit of a jump there. Again, it was one of those are you a friend or foe moments. I don't think there was any real aggression in it, because if there was, she would have nailed him. But yet again, you see he's up on the side. You can see she's taken a couple of steps back, and she's sort of lifted her legs up as if to let him know that she's game and she's ready. It's just about him crossing that gap, so to speak, and working things out like. Now, at this point when he hooked her fangs, I'm pretty sure you can see his palps aren't tapping away. So I'm pretty sure there was an insertion, but if I'm honest, I can't be 100%. But again, you see there doesn't seem to be a lot of tapping from his palps, which suggests to me that in the way she's pushed right back there, sort of tells me that there's a good chance that he did make that insertion. And you can see there he's off, So I thought, again, we'll try and save him for another day. I'll try and save him completely, but you know what I mean. So she's backed away. He just sat there on the side of her enclosure for a little while. What I wanted to do actually was I just wanted to see what happened, whether he did start vibrating again and sending any more signals through to her, but he was there for a good few minutes and he just sat still really. He didn't do a great deal. There was no tapping, nothing other than this to this point here where he sort of started cleaning his palps, which again to me hopefully is a good indication that he may have got an insertion. So yeah, again we're just going to have to wait and see what happens over the next couple of months. I am going to try and pair him again, and I'll update you with that at some point in the future. So yeah, there we have it. That's the second pairing of Dolichothele diamantinensis, Brazilian blue dwarf beauty. Yeah, so like I say, it was just that quick. She come across to him. There was that little bit of what looked like a scuffle, but it was just that feeling each other up again. Like I was saying earlier on about her having an initial pop at the males every time they go into the enclosure, But yeah, like as you've seen there, it all actually happened pretty quick. And once he left the enclosure, I didn't think it was worth risking him going back in, and it was easier just to save him for another day. I'll feed them both up. I'll probably try and pair them one more time, and then I'll send this guy back to Chris, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get an egg sac at some point in the future. But as I've said, this was sort of a 50-50. This is a breeding collab with Chris from Skaana Exotics, so his description is going to be downstairs. Well, I say his description channel link will be in the description. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, please go check him out, and if you're on Instagram, check out some of his Instagram pictures, because he does some really cool macro shots, or macro photography, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's where his interest in the actual spider hobby and that branched from, was his interest in macro photography, but I may be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But anyway, I'm going to shut up. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.